Our remote location is Concordia Parish Detention Center with staff and support. Please introduce yourself. Do you have anybody in the room, staff and support in that room with you? You're on mute. I can't hear you. Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Hello,
Hey,
my name is Sergeant Williams.
hey, Sergeant, thank you.
No problem.
All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Willie Griffin, 598893.
All right, Willie, you heard the introductions. We'll have a parole interview, ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
We have Laditra Griffin, who's here in support. She'll be, listening or by Zoom. Willie Griffin DOC number 598893. You're a third class offender. Parole eligibility date 1/18/2023. Not eligible for good time. Full term 1/18/2026. You have a 16-year sentence. You have manslaughter, contraband. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
31,
How long you been incarcerated?
13 years.
I'll a whole lot of things we could talk about, but tell me about the contraband. What's going on with the I got you as 4/13/2022 as a contraband. I got you 6/17/20, 8/21/18. Cell phones, Mojo. Tell me about the whole contraband issue you have.
Okay. The one in 2018, I got caught with a cell phone. It was a cell phone in the cell that I was housed in, and they caught me with a cell phone. Now the one in 2000 and the other one.
2020 and then 2022.
All right. 2020.
20 and 2022.
All right, the one in 2022. That was at the West Feliciana, right?
Yeah, well, you ought to remember you got them.
Yes, sir. Well, while I was at work, and the warden had went to my dormitory and found some stuff housed around in my bed area. He found some Mojo and stuff housed in my bed area.
Had a little Mojo.
Yes, sir.
You got a problem with Mojo and you got a problem with cell phones, huh? You have some cell phones too?
No, I had no cell phone at that time, not in 2022.
Right, but you had a problem. You've had those as well. Look, looking at your overall record, you're a third class offender. You've got not a good disciplinary institutional record. You have law enforcement opposition. You need programs. I just can't support you today. But we'll. So you have any comments? You have anything you'd like to say?
All I can say, I know I made mistakes. I know I have, and I'm doing the best that I can to rehabilitate myself, become a better person than what I was. And I just made some mistakes. And I just wish that y'all would just grant me this opportunity to reunite with my family, to show everybody that I can be a better person.
Well, yeah, that's why you're there, because you keep making mistakes. I mean, that's got to be your decision to try to get right. But today, for me, my vote is to deny you parole. You have law enforcement opposition, disciplinary right. You have a lot of issues. Look, you need to get your mind right, take some classes, try to see if you can improve yourself a little bit. My vote today is to deny. Mr. Renatson.
Mr. Griffin, say you're making mistakes. After 13 years of incarceration, you know the rules, and I was disappointed to see what I consider recent contraband. You know the rules. So it's disappointing that you haven't learned yet to follow the rules. I'm glad to hear you say you're working hard on yourself. That's what you need to do. My vote today is to deny your parole for the same that Mr. Kelsey stated to you. We'd like to, sir.
Ms. Jackson,
Griffin, you were 18 when you started serving this sentence,
Yes, ma'am.
and at that time you were a first offender. And you picked up 2 felony convictions, contraband during your time of incarceration. Not very encouraging. The only program you have taken is victim accountability letter training. You say you're working on yourself to be a better person, but you gotta show that. Today, you just haven't shown us that. You haven't taken a lot of programs, only one. And then you get 2 felony convictions. Oh, man. Wish I could go with you today because you've been in there a long time, but it doesn't seem to have the effect that it needed to have. And so for me, I'm going to have to deny because of your 2 felony convictions, contraband,
right, Chair.
love you.
Right, Chair. 3 votes to deny your parole. Your parole's been denied. Good luck to you. 9:11 a.m. We will adjourn.
So yeah, what does he expect really? Yeah, it sucks, but he didn't prepare for this date. I found just one really small news article. 2 people have been indicted for connection with a fatal shooting in Shreveport that happened during an argument over buying drugs. So it was like a drug deal gone bad, maybe. Griffin, who was only 18, he was only 18 at the time, faces second-degree murder charges, and 42-year-old David Daniels, who was killed in the apartment block 1200, which has seen many other murderers. The apartment building had been the site of several murders and was razed last year. Wow, they just knocked the whole thing down. And then Griffin's girlfriend, Tisha Watson, who was 20, she was arrested. Yeah, she ran away to Dallas and was arrested. And then he's been locked up for 13 years on a 16-year sentence. So he's getting out in 3 years anyways, but he's done nothing. And then he got 2 more felony convictions. So he might not get out. He might have gotten longer sentences for those. The contraband, they gave him more felony convictions. So it was an obvious no-brainer. Yeah, but it's still helpful to see. We see so many cases where people do well and then they get out, and you're like, well, why? Well, it shows you follow the rules and you do what the system asks for you, and then you can earn good time and get out. But this was just, if you don't, it's not even a conversation. Less than 8-minute hearing for him, it would have gone by in a second. What did he expect? He was so young, but sometimes what can you say?